So I got to take this off of there. Should be interesting. I got to get underneath there to do it. My honey's going to pull everything out. Let me take a look here. See what we can see. All right, so I got to get this baby off of there, and that baby off of there, and then that baby off of there. So first of all, we got to turn off the water. So it should be righty-tighty to close it. Of course, this one just won't let me get to it. And that should do it. All right. Now let's see if the water's off. Make sure I did it right. Okay. Apparently, I got it off. It's got this bolt on it. I gotta take that off. Process 1 done. So now this thing can go all the way up. Honey, you can pull that out. Okay, now I can get to this bolt here. This thing here, I gotta get to this bolt here. Loosen it. You gotta loosen these here with the Phillips head screwdriver. Okay, so this is the first time I ever took a faucet out or put one in, and I had no idea what I was doing. The first thing you need to do is turn off the water, which I actually got that part right. I did pull the plunger out next, which was smart. But the third thing you're supposed to do is take the water lines that connect the faucet to the handles off. And those usually have a little clip that you just pop. And what you do is you get up there with your wrench and squeeze the sides, and it should just slide right off that coupling on all 3 spots. But I didn't know that because I never did it before. So I went and I did it all back assward. I shouldn't have been taking those screws out when I did, but I did, as you can see. So you should get those water lines off first. Then you have to unscrew those 2 Phillips heads on both of the handles. Once you get those off, the thing just slides right out. And then you can get your wrench in there and you can loosen the bolt on the faucet. So I had no idea, but I'm going to let you guys watch me just bungle my way through this and manhandle it because it's mostly for entertainment value. All right, so let's go ahead and see what happens next. All right, so anyway, let's get back in there. 60 frickin'. Ow! Shit, that hurt. So here, I'm going to need 2 wrenches to get this off. I got to put a wrench on here and on here. And then I got to twist that, and that goes to the main hot water. And then I got to do the exact same thing over here for the cold water. And then these 2 hoses hook up into here. I got to release that too. And then I think I can pull everything through. All right, let's try that. Get another wrench. There we go. All right, I think we're there. We're getting there. Inch by inch. A little bit of water, but not much. So these now will come out. So I got those 2 off. Holy shit. Let's take a look at it. So you see, there's plumber's tape, but we did get it off of there. Now, I got to pull it up through there. All right, I had to take a pee break, but I'm going to get right back at it. I can hear some drippage, so I've got some water coming out of this one here. So I'm going to try to tighten it a little bit more. Oh, there we go. That should stop it. Got some water coming out. That happens. What are you going to do?
Oh, I thought you said you had them off.
No, I don't have them off.
You said you took them off.
Trying to get them off now. So the water supply hose that comes out of the handle and goes into the faucet cracked up there, and they're supposed to just come right off with a pinch. So I had to get up there with some channel locks and rip the thing apart, as you can see, but I still got a chunk of plastic on it, and I got to get the round bolt around that and the washer off of it. So I'm having trouble doing that, and it looks like I got to break it with the channel locks, and that's what I'm going to do next. So I used the channel locks. I squeezed the shit out of it so I could get these things off, And those are the things that hold it up against the cabinet. Now I'm going to pull it out, and we're going to go upstairs and do that. Hang on. Bam, done.
Okay.
This is what I had to do.
This thing?
This thing would not go through that nut. I had to squeeze the copper wire.
What nut?
The thing that holds it on. See right here?
Yeah.
Right there, you got a thing that screws on here and tightens up against this.
Okay.
You see?
Right.
That's what keeps it there.
Right.
All right? Well, that would not slide over that big giant white thing, which I had to tear the fuck out of to get it out of there.
So obviously this thing you had to bend too.
So I had to squeeze. Yeah, I squeezed the copper so that I could get it out of there. This is the connector that comes on, that goes to the hose, that goes to the center faucet. So the only way I could do it was smashing the shit out of it and pulling it off. Now it comes off easy because I can get in here and push on it. But under there, no way. Unbelievable. I'll explain something to you. I don't consider myself a delicate creature. Mm-hmm. I will crawl under that thing and I will tear that thing out with my damn bare hands. Mm-hmm.
Whoops.
Look at her. She's so beautiful with her glasses on. All right, I got to do this. Right, so this.
Do you need that off? No.
Yeah, this still doesn't want to come out of there. So what I'm thinking, I'm just going to cut it here.
Well, those washes go down below. Those have to come off.
No, but I don't need this. All right.
Yeah, but
I don't need this because we're going to pull this whole thing out.
Yeah, but then you have to get new hoses. What did you do with the other one?
I can't use this again. Look, I already destroyed it.
What did you do with the other one? You just cut it?
Yeah, no, I didn't cut it, but let me see. Hang on. Let's see if I can do it with these snips.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it out. That's not the way you're supposed to do it, but all right, whatever. All right, now I got to get the faucet out. That's got to come all the way off. And then this has to slide down too. That comes off of there. All right, now we can take that out of there. All right, hopefully I got that on video. I don't know if I did or not. Let's see. Okay, now we're gonna have our success. Bam, that's off. That's off. Got everything off. Now I gotta install a new one. Oh my God. Now you gotta see, it's got 3 holes. This went through the center hole, and these were on the 2 side holes. Like this, right? Okay. So this thing hooked onto here, and then it hooked on, this hooked here, and then these hooked onto here and onto here. All right, and you can see this little flange thing, and that flange thing slides in. Each one of these, I broke them all off, but each one of these has like this square type of thing that when you push it up on there, it locks it in, and you've got your little rubber washers that keep the water from leaking through. So this is how it worked. It's set in there like that. Of course, there was only 1 hose on each of these, and then the 2 hoses went into this one here. So if you encounter these, what you're going to see is this little red marking, and what you got to do is you got to squeeze those together and then pull, and then this thing will pop off. And that's the one thing I did not know about it. So as you can see, I just tore this one all to hell. I mean, I just ripped this thing all up. This one over here, I popped it off. So I actually did get one off pretty good. But as you can see over here, this one's still on there. Now I got to install a new one. Oh my God. Hopefully we'll be able to put in the new one pretty soon. Sometimes you just have to use a little brute force to get stuff out. I did. And because I didn't know what I was doing. But now I do know what I'm doing. So when I put the new one in, I'll be able to do it. This is a puzzle. And sometimes you have to fuck the puzzle up and cut your own piece. All right, today we're going to put in this Glacier Bay. This is, of course, going to be our centerpiece, right? And then we've got 2 handles. You got a hot water, which goes to the left, and then you got your cool water, which will be on the right. And of course, I have to take off all the bolts and everything. What I got to do is I got to pull this off. So this is going to come all the way off. These little things here, because you be careful of those, because you need those for the for later. So this has to come off also. Very careful. Now this is going to set right down in there like that. And then these are going to come up underneath, and I'm going to tighten that so that this locks in there. So that's what we're going to do there, okay? So that's how that one's going to work. So we're going to set that there, leave that there, so we're ready to go. So I got to take this off. This is all brass. It looks pretty nice. So I'm going to pull that off. It's going to come all the way off. I'm going to pull it off the end here. We're going to save it right there because we're going to need it. And then we got to pull off our washer. And those are going to go underneath. And this is going to set right down in there like that. Done. Got to do the same thing on the other side. Now these, you've got to bring these nuts all the way out till they're flush, like that. You're going to bring them all the way out until they're flush. So now they're flush on the end. So when I get under there, what's going to happen is this is going to slide up on it like that, and this is going to set this way. And then when I start to tighten these, this is going to push this up against here, and it's going to lock it in. So now the question is do I have the handles this way or this way? I can switch them around. I'm not sure yet. So now this is ready to go over here. So anyway, just to reiterate, underneath there, I got to put this on first. Then I'm going to screw this all the way down, and then I'm going to use those, and it's going to be a Phillips head. I'm going to use that to tighten this up against this part here. So we're going to take that off again. All right, so those are our two right here. Now the question is, do we want to do it this way? And I think that's probably the way we want to do it. So we want to have our handles facing this way, so we move them like that. Let's see. So we pull them this way, so they'll be like that, and we pull them this way. Be like that, we pull them this way to open up the valve. And so we're going to have it right about, I think we're going to have them right about like that. You got the left side's always going to be your hot water, your right side's going to be your cold water, and this is how it connects. All it is you just push it on. You just push these on, and they catch those little blue clips. So don't do anything with this until you get all this already hooked up. That's the first part, okay? And that's going to go in the trap, and that's going to go right down there. So also this one here has a hole in it in the back, and that's where the plunger goes down. And that's where you go to pop up your plunger up and down. But we're going to show you how to do that, and it's in here somewhere. Oh, here it is. There's that piece right there. So that's pretty much all the pieces. It also comes with this little Allen wrench that you can use for something we're going to find out. But just in case that doesn't work, I go back to the trusty wrench. And as I said, this is a 13/16, as you can see, fits right on there. And supposedly that's supposed to be the same thing, but we're going to see how that works. If it doesn't work, I'm taking it back to Home Depot. I also did buy this LED light, which makes it 100 times easier for me. So we're going to take a look under here. So anyway, let's go in. All right, as you can see, there's our 3 holes that we're going to be hitting. And you can see it's really tight right there, so that's why I don't know if that wrench is going to work or not. But we're going to find out. Then afterwards, I'm going to have to redo this trap up here. This is going to have to come out. I'm going to put that new thing on there so that you can let the water out. So this will all come out of here. Let's crawl out of this very small hole. This is what it looks down there. You can see there's the valve right there. Right here is our center thing, and you can see there's our center pipe that comes out there. We're going to hook into that trap down there. Then over here is our other valve, and you see that little hose right there? That's going to connect right onto the end of this. You probably want to put your faucet on first and then put these on second. So I'm going to pull those out, and I'm going to do the faucet first and get that locked down. And that's what we're going to use to lock that faucet down. So here we go. This does not spin at all. This locks in. So once I put it on there, I want to make sure it's straight. Okay. So anyway, when you're working with old stuff, it's never as easy as you think it's going to be. And as you can see, I use these little mats so that I can lay back without killing myself. I got to watch my head. And it's hard to get your whole body in here. I got to get my 2 pieces right here. I'm going to get up here. This has to go up. So you're going to push this all the way up there like that. And then I'm going to slide my nut over this. I'm going to get a little screw going on it. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Just to get it threaded. I'm going to hold it here. I don't know if you can see this or not. I'm going to press against this. I'm just going to roll this. Tighten it up. Snug that baby good. All right, so you got to make sure that this part, this little hole right here, I don't know if you can see it right there, that's where your plunger thing comes down to hook onto here. So you got to have that in the back. So make sure you got that in the back. I'm kind of twisting it with my fingers. And it looks pretty good. I'm going to go up top and make sure it looks cool. All right, so I go to the back of the faucet and I slide it down. You can see it coming through there. And that is going to hook into your drain that hooks into the trap or the flow tube that goes to the trap. And there's a couple different ways you can put it in. I think I'm going to put it with the curve towards the bowl, though, even though they show a different way in the directions. And now what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to use that tool to tighten it down. Now this tool goes right there. Guess what? I can't use it because this basin's too close. Too close. So guess what we got to do? Right, Ridge tool, you suck. You don't work. You're too thick. We're going to go with the traditional wrench. But I'm getting it. I mean, look, I got to do it very, very subtly. Back and forth, very subtly. This way, then I'm going to flip the wrench over. Go this way, then flip the wrench over. Go this way, then flip the wrench over. Go this way. Go this way. All right, let's go upstairs and make sure we got it right. It seems like it's a pretty good angle. Let's pull back. Looks pretty straight, right? What do you think? I like it. I like it a lot. So we're going to slide these babies in. There's one. And then there's two. All right, so we want to get them on an angle like that, so that looks pretty good. And then we're going to go ahead and tighten those babies down. Make sure that your Phillips head fits it. It's not too small. Bam, that's what we need right there. Perfect. So we're going to slide it up, and then I'm going to get a little bit of thread going on it. I'm going to grab it with my other finger and just rotate it. Here we go. You see this here? Just tightens right on there, just like that. Now, once we get it kind of snug, then we're going to get the screwdriver on it. So I'm getting there a little bit snuggy. Now I got to go back up and make sure that I haven't moved my thing, because once I go to tighten it down, I want it in the right position. You see what I'm saying? This you wanted to do first because these get in the way when you're doing the wrench. So that's got to go on first. So when you take them off, you always got to take these off first. So let's go take a look and see if we did it okay. If I can get out of here. Oh, God. Oh. 65-year-old man doing this shit. I'm sure there's a lot more like me. So we did move it. So I got to slide it back into position. So this is kind of where I want it, right like that. Okay? So you got to come up and do that before you do your final tightening. And make sure it's just the way you like it. All right, let's go tighten this sucker down and hook up the water lines. Oh, I got to get some plumber's tape too. Going back under. Phillips head, got it. Here we go. I'm coming in. Coming in. Coming in hot. I got to get on this baby. Do a little bit of a turn here. Get on this side of it. A little bit of a turn. Now, here's the thing. I don't want to over tighten it, but I want it super duper so it doesn't move up there. So you got to get it pretty good. Looks like we have everything on there pretty good. Now we got to go upstairs and look at it. That's where the water line is going to hook up. We got to put plumber's tape on that sucker right there. So all this is now pretty tight, ready to go, and ready to hook our lines on. First, we're going to check it up here, make sure we didn't screw it up. All right, let's look. Oh, looks pretty good. All right, so these are relatively tight. I don't think they're going to go anywhere. There's your hot water. There's your cold water. That looks pretty darn good. Next, I got to take out this drain area. So we've got a brand new one here. And these are all the parts that come with it. And this is what we use for, so you can open and close this thing here, which is, I guess, the plunger. So I got to take that out of there. I'm going to need a pair of channel locks, which I happen to have, and to loosen this. So let's see which way we go. Do we go this way? Looks like I'm going to need two pairs of channel locks. There's one pair, and then I got to open this up a little bit. There's the other, so I'm going to grab that, and I'm going to loosen that. And we're going to get a little bit of water coming out of it, because it is a drain. So you got to get this off of here. This is the old one. Hopefully the new one's going to work. So we'll save this just in case. Let's see if I can turn it with my hand. Yeah, there we go. And I put a thing under here so that I'm going to undo this. Oh, shit, that thing is on there tight. That's not good. That's the turning in there. So, see if I can get this off here. Get that thing off of there. See if it'll unscrew. I think that's the only way we can do it. Oh, there, we got it. Oh, shit. That was a pain in the ass. I'm going to have to take the trap off. I'm going to loosen it here, pull this out. To get the trap off, I need a flathead. So I'm going to come over here, just loosen this up. I got a little bucket here, so if we get any spillage, we should be okay. There we go. All right, we got that off. So let's take a look at this nasty mess we got here. Just want to make sure it smells horrible. That's a good thing. We needed to clean that out. So we got to pull that out of there. I think I'm going to use the channel locks. Bam, done. Now we got to clean that mess up. Ugh, look at that. That's one gross, gooky looking thing there, huh? Now I got to separate that bottom trap from that. Okay, anyway, put a plastic bag over this baby here. I'm just going to pull her out. And we're going to just leave that right there. So now I still got the trap. It's kind of messy, but I'm going to clean it up a little bit. It's gross as all get out. Look at that. All right, so the directions say first put the sealant on, stick it in there, and then take this and screw it in from underneath. So we're going to try that right now. So this is 100% silicone, lifetime guarantee, 100% waterproof. So we're going to try that. So I'm going to put a little bit around here. You're not supposed to get this on your fingers, but I'm going to get enough on there. All right, that should do it. I'm going to clean this off a little bit before we lay it down, and then pull this back. Otherwise, it has a tendency to keep squirting out. We've got our silicone on here. Kind of smush it like this with my finger, which you're not supposed to do. Smush it around like that. Okay. Get it off my finger before Now I'm supposed to stick that down in there. Maybe we'll put a little silicone on there too. Maybe just a little bead. Get that off there, pull your plunger back. And then I want to make it so it's not, just going to smush it around a little bit. So now we're going to pick this baby up and set it right in there. Bam. Done. Now, we got to go underneath. I'm going to screw this into that. And then you got to make sure that this is in the back. And then afterwards, we're going to tighten this and lock it in there. But this has to be towards the back because remember, your plunger thing is in the back. So don't screw that up. Here we go. Hopefully we're good. I'm going to push on this side. So I'm going righty-tighty. So now this, I got to hold this here, and this is going to go up. Got a big rubber washer on it, and that's what's going to keep the water from squirting out, hopefully. You got to keep this part to the back. So I'm going to have to get some channel locks too to tighten it a little bit tighter, but that is basically your setup. Let's go up top and make sure everything looks cool up there and we're not screwing shit up. Anyway, it looks pretty good. I like it blue, but it's going to be silver just like the rest of it. Okay, we're back in here. I'm going to get my channel locks now. We're going to tighten this down a little bit tighter. I'm going to grab it like this, turn her, but I want to keep this nice and stiff. But this has got to be tight so it doesn't leak. I really can't. I hope I'm not in the... So yeah, if I turn it like this, it'll turn the whole thing. So you got to hold the bottom. You want to get it tight. Last thing you want is this thing leaking once you get it all put together. And then like Lynette would punch me right in the kisser if I did that. But I think it looks pretty good right now. I can put my trap on, stick it back in there, and it should be okay. It should be good to go. So this little hole there, that's where your little plunger, the steel plunger goes in that I just showed you a couple seconds ago. And that's the way it works, just like that. Imagine this is inside your drain thing. And as you can see, it's got an O-ring there, keeps the water from coming out. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and do that next. Okay, so anyway, I'm looking down here, right? And you see that little hole there? Right there? That's where the stopper thing has to face. So I've got to have it turned this direction and then down. And it's got to be perfect, otherwise I can't get it in. So I want to put it in straight down that way. So that's how you got to do it. So if you look down there, you'll see that little hole that comes through. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and push my little thing through here so you can see it. See there, that's it there. So this is, all right, so now this should go right in there, no problem. So I'm going to push this here like this. And it's got those two little flanges on it. And if I push it in, it should go right in to, I think that's it. And we're in. The test of this is if I go like this, if it moves it. So you see what I'm saying? So what I got to do is go up top and I'm going to look and see if it works. And I'm going to move it like this. And it should pop up. Now if I go like this, it should pop down. So let's go take a look and see if that worked. See if it pops up. Oh, okay, it looks like it worked. Okay, so anyway, this thing here has to go on such and like this. But this baby here kind of like goes in here, down in there like that. I got to see how high I want it. So I'm not sure where I want to put it, but I know that this is coming down too far here, right? So I got to bring this up. This is up, and then that's down. Up, down. So let's go upstairs and take a look at it. See where we're at. So I'm thinking what's wrong with that? That looks pretty good like that. Do we need to make it more obtruse and higher? I don't think so. I think I kind of want it hidden behind there. Don't you? And I'm just going to lop off the bottom part of this bad boy. Right about there. Whoops. Hang on, big fella. I think that's cool. Do we need any more than that? Let's just slide it on now. That's all. Bring this down, lock it in. That's it, girls and boys. All right, so what I did was, this part here slides up. What I did was basically I just bent this over it. I cut the two things off. Now I'm good. I slide that down. It's nice and even. Now we can go upstairs and see if we can pull it. I gotta unlock it because it's gotta go back. So we need room for our hoses. See that hose right there? I gotta put a hose on that. So you gotta make sure you got room for that. But that's it basically. These two things here are snapped into there. It's got an O-ring on it. It's tight, hopefully. We'll find out when we first use it. And now next we got to do the hook of our lines and then put our trap back on. Pull up or close it. That's down is open, up to close. And that's it. That's how you do it. Put our trap back on. That's the next thing. All right, so what I want to do is get a nice straight edge. So I'm going to cut it with this scissors. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come on here. I'm going to lay it on there. And then I'm going to roll it all the way around, trying to keep it nice and straight. Bring it all the way. Might do 2 turns. Okay, now I got her here. I'm going to cut it with this. Now it's nice and straight. There we go. That should do it. My rink on. So we're going to do that first. And that's going to go like that. Get that in there. Smush that in there. Okay, now I got it in. Now there we go. So now, I don't know if you can see it, but I put it in here. And now I'm going to tighten this onto here. The question is, will this work? I'm hoping it will. All right, that's pretty much it. Snaggy daggy. Now this is pushed in there. Now I got to tighten that bad boy. I hope this doesn't leak. Oh my God, that would be horrible. So righty tighty, lefty loosey. And this baby's got to be good and tight because we don't want the water coming out of here. Kind of really want this up higher. All right, that looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bucket with water and I'm going to pour it in there and see if it leaks. And if it doesn't leak, then I think we did a good job. If it does leak, oh, I fucked that up. All right, let's find out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just pour this in here. There we go. Now we're ready to go. Now that's the exact same amount of water that will fill this thing in case we do have a leak. So now we're going to go under here. I'm going to go ahead and pop that. And we're going to see if it leaks. There goes the water. Is it leaking? Nothing. I think we're good. I think we did a good job. Congratulations, you're a plumber. All right, now I gotta put on the lines and then we're ready to go. And then this baby is brand new, ready to crank. All right, I think I'm doing a good job so far. Goes to the faucet and these go to the 2 side handles there underneath. So here we go, we're gonna try that. I'm gonna put this in here, I'm gonna clean up the mess under there first. So this one's right here, so I can move it. So if I turn it to the side like that, I can get them so that they're kind of even, and then I should be able to slip it right over that. So let's take a look at this thing, because this doesn't seem like it should fit, although it could work that way. If I go this way, I think it should be good. And then we just loop them to the 2 different little pops there. And then I've got to get it so that the blue things line up right on there. Snaps right on. And this one, I'm going to bring it over here, and I want to have my little things on the side, and I'm going to slide it right down, snap it on. And this one, I'm going to bring it over here, so I've got them snapped on, those 2, and I got to do the last one on the other side. Very simple procedure, just pushing them on. And that's it. That's on, that's on, that's on. All right, we're done. All I got to do is connect the water, and we're ready to rock. All right, so I was dumb. Should have got this plumber's tape on it beforehand. That was stupid of me. But what are you gonna do? Stupid is as stupid does. So now I'm gonna get the tape on here. See if I can find my scissors. Okay, tape on that side. Now I gotta do the tape on the other side before I cut it. All right, I think I got it. All right, now I just gotta connect my lines. There's a little bolt right here that I can grab to tighten this on. And then that's it. And then we're ready to rock. So Hopefully it doesn't leak. If I go like this, you can see this one still has some water coming out of it. Come on, get on there. Oh, there we go. You can see it's got some little bit of water coming through it. So anyway, you got to get the wrench on it like this. And then this one here, twisting it. Don't want to get it too tight, but I think that should work. That one should be good. I've opened these valves. Both of them are open. Now we're going to come out and check it out and see if it works. Any water dripping? Don't see any. Try the other side. Ooh, that's kind of gross. It's interesting how it turns off. All right. Push it down. It's draining. Don't see any leaks. No water. I think we're good. Here she be. Everything looks pretty good. Over here. All right, no water dripping. The plunger's working. Okay, I think we did a good job today. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and check out my other awesome videos on me doing plumbing that I've never done before. So if I can do it, so can you. Peace out.